Today on OC News.
Pakistan vows to avenge the 31 people killed by India's recent missile attacks.
5 people have been charged in a human smuggling case that took place off Torrey Pines State Beach.
And a fan-favorite video game is trending after a new trailer was released.
All this and more on OC News.
This just in tech news. The first responder on police. There's been a lot of collaborative efforts.
I feel blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students
at Cal State Fullerton. OC News starts right now.
Welcome to OC News. This is our last night of newscast for the semester. I'm Alex Heitman.
And I'm Justin Rosette. We've got a lot of important stories for you tonight, but we'll start with this. A Cal State Fullerton baseball player allegedly assaulted another Cal State Fullerton student late last week and has reportedly been suspended by the team. The incident happened at the District Lounge in the city of Orange Thursday night, May 1st. Gavin Meyer, a redshirt sophomore pitcher, allegedly punched the student unprovoked as he left the bar, knocking him out. He was taken away by an ambulance with a black eye, concussion, and laceration to his head. A police report was filed. We've contacted Titan Athletics to confirm Meyer's suspension, but have not heard back from them.
Student visa revocations are making a ripple effect across the nation, but some of the stories are hitting home. Reporter Delilah Gruba has more on the story.
Cal State Fullerton is now among several campuses where students are having their visas revoked. The Academic Senate confirmed that 8 CSUF students were included in more than 30 affected statewide. The revocations come at a time of heightened federal immigration enforcement under the Trump administration, with little to no notice given to students affected.
In some cases, the university is only finding out by manually checking the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, leaving both students and the institution blindsided.
While no official reason has been released, students expressing pro-Palestinian views appear to be disproportionately targeted. This pattern has raised concerns among students, including Sina Kott, a senior at Cal State Fullerton.
But it's definitely fishy how there is some correlation between their outspokenness against the crisis in Gaza and their visas getting revoked. So I think there's definitely some sort of bias in that regards to the Palestine crisis.
Faculty and staff have also voiced alarm, some even canceling class after reports of plainclothes Department of Homeland Security agents being spotted near the Arboretum. The unexpected presence of federal officials has fueled fears that students could be targeted without warning, with many professors like Russ Espinoza citing concerns over protection of students.
I feel very helpless for these students. We just discussed this in our psychology department faculty meeting on Friday, how helpless we are as professors.
In February, CSU Chancellor Mildred Garcia said the system was reviewing the impact of Trump's orders and remains committed to supporting students from all backgrounds. But since then, no updates have been given. Limited guidance from CSU leadership has left faculty across campuses to call on the university to do more to support students during uncertain times, with political science professor Angela Barozona emphasizing the institution's role in upholding student rights.
Well, I think it's essential that universities stand with its students and its support, really, the rights of students. Don't just cave in to the demands of the administration. And we see example with Harvard that you don't have to cave in. You can, protect your student rights.
International and immigrant students, comprising 6% of CSUF's student body, are urged to carry their ID, know their rights, and stay informed. For more, visit fullerton.edu/immigration for ICE Encounter guidance. This is Delilah Gruba signing off, OC News.
An overturned boat with migrants attempting to cross the border off the coast of San Diego leaves passengers dead. The United States Border Patrol said on Tuesday that 16 people were on board the small Panga-style boat. 5 Mexican nationals face charges for the deadly smuggling incident. Among those killed, a 14-year-old boy from India and 2 other individuals. The boy's parents are hospitalized, but the 10-year-old sister is still missing. The incoming location of the boat is unclear, but a U.S. Coast Guard official says it flipped about 35 miles south of the Mexican border.
In January of 2024, the California Faculty Association went on strike before coming up with an agreement. It affected all the CSU schools, and now that the agreement is expiring, Jonathan Mansour spoke with the CFA board members to get an update on the situation.
It lasted just one day. On January 22nd, 2024, CSU faculty and some staff went on a system-wide strike when the California Faculty Association couldn't reach an agreement on a new collective bargaining.
I really think that the university intention was to break our union. We were supposed to go in with Teamsters. The Teamster made a deal with management at the 11th hour, so they called off their participation in the strike. They agreed to give our lecture faculty the compensation that we have been asking for.
Yeah, so the tentative agreement from last year, it really was the largest general salary increase that we've gotten.
And we just felt that the offer was so substantial and historical that we could not refuse. So we accepted the offer.
The tentative agreement last year did some great things, but last year we could only open on salary. So this year we can open up on a lot more things.
The current tentative agreement expires at the end of June 2025. President Brown and others were in Sacramento last week in hopes to negotiate on a new CBA.
Every time that we're supposed to meet with them, they have tried to negotiate with us through email. You don't negotiate through email.
So the more people who participate, the better contract we can get. And I don't think they want to do that kind of work. So instead, what they want to do is silence a lot of our members. They want to deal with very few of us. And I think they want to stall because I don't think they have anything to offer us.
And we can see that they have increased student fees astronomically. They're claiming this fake austerity that they don't have any money, where we know they have $9 billion, okay, with a B, $9 billion in investments, right? They clearly are hiring more administrators, and they're trying to just totally wipe out our bargaining and ability to be able to negotiate with them. It's awful.
With management halting meetings, President Brown says that a possible strike in the fall semester is still a far possibility, which is good news for students because a possible strike would only mean that their education is being impacted.
I'm expected to be graduating in spring 2026, so the idea of a strike scares me because it might delay my graduation date. So hopefully a new CBA can be reached as soon as possible.
It is safe to say the development of the CFA negotiations will be something to follow. Reporting for OC News, I'm Jonathan Mansour.
After a 5-year pause, the federal government restarts collections on default student loans. Guadalupe Caballero has the story.
For millions of Americans, the pause on student loan collections brought temporary relief. But as of May 5th, that relief has ended, and now borrowers in default face serious financial consequences. Over 5.3 million borrowers are currently in default, and most haven't made payments since the pandemic. The Department of Education resumes collections through Treasury Offset Program, which allows the government to seize wages, Social Security benefits, and tax refunds. Felipe Rodriguez is one of those borrowers still without a job in his field and now facing pressure of repayment.
It adds more stress to, daily life. I feel right now, since I chose a career path that specifically, became very unsustainable and scarce during the past year or so, hearing that these loans are coming back is really scary.
Loan defaults don't just lead to collections, they can tank credit scores, making it harder to rent an apartment, buy a car, or even get a job. For many, it's a long-term financial setback.
Now with the interest, you have to be making big payments in order for it to actually go away, And that's just the bad part, because rent already in LA is so high and very, difficult to work with. It's crazy because these wages aren't matching, you know what I mean?
I am standing outside the campus financial aid office where some students may not realize their federal loans are in default. Experts say taking action before or after collections resume makes all the difference.
Student loan attorney Jay Fleischman explained via email that borrowers in default still have options to avoid collections and begin repaying their loans responsibly. Borrowers can avoid collections through loan rehabilitation, which removes the default after 9 on-time payments, consolidation, which creates a new loan, often with lower payments, or income-driven repayment plans based on monthly payments or income and family size. These options can lower payments or remove the default from credit reports. The Campus Scholarship Office is also a key resource to help students find financial aid and reduce the need for loans.
Coming from donors who are giving because they really believe in student success and supporting our students here at Cal State Fullerton. So it's a great opportunity to get extra funding for school.
With collections underway, borrowers are urged to explore their options now before their paychecks or refunds are at risk. For more resources, visit studentaid.gov. I'm Guadalupe Caballero, reporting for OC News.
Do you ever just want to talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? Our reporter Jonathan Zarate does. Here is the story.
Groceries up, rent up, wages not so much. As national leaders argue over inflation, interest rates, and student debt, students at Cal State Fullerton are living the effects. The Consumer Price Index has risen over 17% since 2020, pushing everyday costs higher, from housing and food to gas and tuition, making it harder for students and families to keep up. Many students juggle school and work just to afford the basics. For some, that's not even enough. For junior Jose Marquez, balancing 15 units with a part-time job, the rising costs have forced him to make some sacrifices.
This economy is pretty tough, honestly, and it's not getting much easier. I got to pay for school and still have time to work. Like, I'm taking all these long lab classes that really takes away from my time.
Inflation has cooled from its 2022 peak, but the damage lingers. Prices remain high, and interest rates have made borrowing more expensive, especially for those relying on student loans. According to the U.S. Department of Education, over 40 million Americans hold student debt. For current students, high interest rates could mean more expensive repayments long after graduation.
And the cost of loans become smaller. But until that happens, I really don't see how interest rates can be substantially lower, which is what students would like in terms of their loans. I haven't saw thus far a decrease in college enrollment, but that's something that might be in the cards going forward, right? So, in terms of educational impact, of course, it's going to become more expensive, right? And
while the economy is showing small signs of recovery, many CSUF students say they don't feel it. With the political and financial tensions going on within the government, many students will pay close attention to see what will happen next. According to a recent Pew study, 72% of young voters said that the economy was a main deciding factor in the 2024 election. But political polarization and gridlock has created deeper frustration.
By not creating enormous debt on the other side, is value to all of us, right? And so I would love to see, I mean, it ain't going to happen anytime soon, but I would love to see student loans that are interest free.
As national leaders debate the economy's future, the impact is already here at Cal State Fullerton. Students are budgeting more and wondering, when are things going to change? In Fullerton, I'm Jonathan Zarate, OC News.
Coming up after the break, residents in San Diego shocked by a fatal human smuggling operation.
And learn how new graduates are fearing for an upcoming student loan policy. Stay with us.
world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Welcome back. The tension in South Asia continues to deepen after a series of deadly attacks between India and Pakistan. India launched strikes on Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir on Wednesday. The two countries have been engaging in attacks for 2 weeks, killing dozens. India's military says it targeted, quote, terrorist infrastructure, end quote, and that the strikes were focused to avoid the loss of civilians. The Pakistani government called the attack, quote, an act of war, end quote, and has only escalated stress in the region. World leaders are calling for peace, including U.S. President Donald Trump, who has offered support to relieve the conflict.
After 3 hours of discussion at the first conclave, black smoke rising from the Sistine Chapel signals that the cardinals failed to elect a new pope. 1.5 billion Catholics around the world still await a new leader for the church. The conclave, made up of 133 leaders, continues a practice hundreds of years old. The church leaders conduct 2 voting rounds a day, and a 2/3 vote plus 1 is required to elect the pope. There is no time frame for the new leader, as the shortest election took 10 hours and the longest was nearly 3 years. As the conclave continues their decision, the rest of the world looks up for white smoke from the Sistine Chapel, signaling a new pope.
California feels like the only state where the week starts off rainy and cool and ends in 90-degree weather. For more on this week's weather forecast, here's Andrea Restrepo.
Thanks, Justin. Good evening, Fullerton. After a cold and rainy week, we are looking ahead to a week full of fun in the sun. Here's a quick look at your current weather update. Right now, we're sitting comfortably at 78 degrees with the low expected to drop to 58 later tonight. Winds are blowing around 10 miles per hour, adding a bit of breeze to the mix. Humidity is at 44%, keeping things relatively comfortable for now. As for the sun, it rose this morning at 5:57 a.m. and we can expect it to set tonight at 7:40 p.m. Enjoy the clear skies while they last, and stay tuned for more updates coming shortly. Now let's take a look at your 5-day forecast for Fullerton. Starting with Thursday, we're looking at sunny skies with a high of 84 and a low of 56. Moving into Friday and Saturday, temperatures are heating up, 92 on Friday and 96 on Saturday, with partly cloudy skies keeping things just a bit cooler. As we move into Sunday, temperatures dip slightly to 83 with continued cloud cover. Finally, by Monday, we cool down significantly with clear skies and a high of 72, dropping to a crisp 57 at night. So be ready for a warm weekend and a cool start to your next week. That's all for your weather update. Now back to Justin and Alex at the desk.
Southern California's bee population is declining, which could end up being devastating for our ecosystem. Janet Wareka has the story.
The devastating wildfires in Southern California earlier this year destroyed more than homes and businesses. It burned natural habitats. The loss of native plants impacts an already declining bee population.
In California alone, we have 1,600 native bee species that are not the honeybee. And so our native bee habitats have been decimated, and they have taken a really big loss.
As the ecosystem's biggest pollinators, bees rely on native plants to survive and keep the food chain going.
There is a lack of nutrition for the bees because they're only getting pollen, they're only getting nectar from that one source. And so if you're eating the same thing day in, day out, it's not a healthy diet, right? And so beekeepers will supplement with additional pollen and sugar syrup, sort of keep the bees going.
Common foods found at grocery stores, such as almonds, berry crops, and apples, are all dependent on bee pollination to have a good crop.
It could be potentially devastating, if we don't have these bees pollinating our food, it could cause a food shortage and or the cost of food would go up. It would cost too much to send people out there and hand pollinating all of these crops.
The Cal State Fullerton Arboretum features 26 acres of unique plant species, including collections of native plants that are planted, grown, and even sold here, proving that change happens one step at a time.
Native plants, we have a lot of native plants that can be used in your garden as shrubs. We have trees. All of them are propagated on site. We have our own nursery here, so we grow everything here.
Both the environment and those working with soil feel the benefits from the cultivation of plants.
It's healthy for the environment, the oxygen that it puts into the environment, the bad stuff it takes out of the environment, the more green space we have, whether it's in a community, whether it's in an industrial park. I mean, those all are helpful for the environment as well as for the people who tend to it.
The Arboretum is open to everyone in the community, allowing local residents to learn and do their part to help the bees.
More local plants and everything in our garden, I feel like it attracts more of a better thriving ecosystem with all the bees and hummingbirds and like local plants and everything. So I think that in itself sort of gives back a little bit.
The bees may be in trouble, but every new seed planted brings a little more buzz back into the Earth's backyards. I'm Janet Ureka, reporting for OC News.
If you watch OC News, then you'll know him for his horrible sports takes, and I mean horrible. Here's Connor Raleigh with our sports for the week.
They aren't that bad. There's never a dull moment in the world of sports. Let's see what's coming up. After winning the Big West, it's award season for CSUF softball. After her first season, Coach Gina Oaks Garcia won Big West Coach of the Year. Ava Arce won Big West Field Player of the Year along with Big West First Team, while Natalie Lozano won Freshman Field Player of the Year along with Big West First Team. Alexia Lopez was also selected to the All Big West First Team along with Trisha McClensky and Colby McClinton. And finally, Eva Hurtado winning Big West Freshman Pitcher of the Year. The divisional round of the NBA playoffs has had a historic start this season. For the first time ever, all the road teams came out on top in Game 1 of the divisional round. It all started with the Cavaliers versus Pacers. The Cavs looked dominant early, cruising through most of the game, but in the fourth quarter, the Pacers mounted a comeback, capped off by a dramatic three-pointer with 1 second left hit by Tyrese Halliburton, who was voted the most overrated player by the league and his colleagues, to steal the win for Indiana. Next up was the Thunder versus Nuggets, and it almost played out identical. Oklahoma City controlled the game for most part, but Denver clawed their way back, down by 1 in the final seconds. Nuggets forward and Orlando Magic legend Aaron Gordon nailed a clutch three to give Denver the lead and win. Game 3 between the Timberwolves and Warriors was a different story. Golden State dominated from start to finish, controlling the tempo as Jimmy Butler made his return to the arena where he's the most hated. Finally, we had the Celtics versus Knicks, a clash not just on the court, but between two of the league's most insufferable fan bases. The Celtics held the lead for most of the game, while Karl Anthony Towns struggled with early foul trouble. The game went down to the wire, eventually heading into overtime, where a huge defensive play, a steal by Mikal Bridges, sealed the win for the Knicks. The 151st Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs took place, and we have a new winner. The 151st Kentucky Derby took place, and it was a thrilling finish down the stretch. It was Sovereignty who broke through the pack and crossed the line first, claiming the coveted garland of roses in front of a roaring crowd. Jockey Junior Alvarado delivered a masterful ride, showing patience early and making a decisive move when it mattered most. The energy had been electric all day, and this finish only added to the legacy of the Derby as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. As celebrations kicked off and the champagne starts to flow, we close out another unforgettable Derby day in Louisville. That's all for your weekly Get Down. I'm Connor Raleigh, signing off for the final time this semester. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up, learn how this CSUF alumni started his own company from the ground up.
And this second trailer of a popular upcoming video game broke the internet after the break.
I don't think
think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back to the show. The Met Gala was this weekend, and I promise even the worst outfit looks better than any Niners jersey. For more on the event's coverage, here's Jocelyn Cararte with our entertainment block.
Thanks, Alex. We have a lot of headlines coming up for entertainment news today, such as the infamous Met Gala and a new, unquote, Avengers movie hit theaters. So, yes, the Met Gala, where celebrities serve high fashion and a lot of high confusion. Let's get into the best and worst looks of the day. Before we get into it, let's give a round of applause to Rihanna, who shut it down at the Met Gala once again. This time, glowing and stunning while pregnant with baby number 3. She showed up in Marc Jacobs classic tailoring with a cropped tuxedo-style jacket and a pinstripe skirt worn low under her bump. The look was finished off with a polka dot tie and an oversized tilted hat that brought the whole outfit to life. Now, onto the rest of the carpet, where some stars soared and others kind of stumbled. Now, this one was tough, but I truly believe one of the most iconic looks of the day belonged to one of the icons herself, Diana Ross. It had been 22 years since she had made an appearance at the Met Gala, but on Monday, she made a triumphant return at the 2025 event celebrating, and she did not disappoint. The music icon stole the spotlight in a breathtaking white gown adorned with crystals and beads, featuring a dramatic 18-foot dress. The most touching detail, however, was the embroidered names of her children and grandchildren. A look that was as glamorous as it was personal. Next, we have the one and only Megan Thee Stallion. Megan lit up New York City in a sparkly Michael Kors gown, complete with a thigh-high slit, halter neck straps, and a dramatic white fur coat. She topped it off with dazzling Lorraine Schwartz jewels, serving full glam from head to toe. Finally, we have the queen herself, Zendaya. Zendaya stunned on the 2025 Met Gala red carpet, embracing this year's theme. She wore an ultra-chic green suit paired with a matching hat, a flawless look likely styled by longtime collaborator La Roche. All right, now let's get into the less fortunate fashion moments of the night. Starting off, we do have Andres 3000. As you can see, he's wearing a piano and holding a bag to the side. I'm not trying to really, disagree with the look. It's very creative. I understand it. It does go with the theme, which is black tailoring, but honestly, it's just not one of my favorites look of the day. I feel like he probably could have done a little better. Next, we do have Lizzo. Again, I don't hate her look. I think it is really cute, really, but simple. She definitely did stun with the platinum blonde at the Met Gala. And again, I just believe she could have served a little bit more, but it is really cute. I don't dislike this look at all. I do think she could have just maybe done something what Lizzo usually does.
And then finally, we have Madonna. As you can see, this is why I put her as last. Just really basic, to be honest. Just a ponytail with the bangs sticking out. No serving or glam whatsoever. I like the silk on her outfit, but again, I feel for the Met Gala. She could have outdone herself a little more. So that's why I put her last. And now, a new Marvel movie has hit theaters, and Marvel is looking to make a famous comeback with this new squad. Marvel's Misfit Squad is suiting up. Thunderbolts hits the theaters May 2nd. Florence Pugh, who leads the crew as Yelena Belova, says the story is all about learning to ask for help, which, let's be honest, isn't easy when your team includes assassins, super soldiers, and people with serious trust issues. The movie brings back familiar faces, like Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and John Walker from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A group Wyatt Russell calls, and quote, an endearing group of misfits who saves the world. Same energy as your dysfunctional friend group, just with more explosions. Louis Pullman joins the cast as a mysterious Bob. No one knows exactly quite what he does, but it's Marvel, so we assume it involves danger and trauma. Thunderbolts landed in theaters on May 2nd, so get ready for some chaos with the side of character development. And that is a wrap on today's entertainment scoop. Stay fabulous, stay nosy, and we'll see you in the spotlight. And signing off for one last time. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jocelyn. With Cal State Fullerton graduation right around the corner, the journey from student to entrepreneur is top of mind. Here's Andrea Restrepo with the story on 2 alumni that made the leap, turning their passion into a multi-million-dollar company.
Clarity Experiences continues to set the standard in audiovisual production, delivering flawless events nationwide with unmatched expertise and innovation, while keeping your events' finances crystal clear.
I came and joined Clarity in 2015, and I helped to take it from a $4 million company to about a $40 million company. At the same time, I was doing that with another company called Solar Art, and a lot of the people that we brought into the organization are Cal State Fullerton graduates. So we always look for students that are interested in the different industries that we're in. Clarity being a production company, we have a lot of people from the marketing and from the business side that are interested in really working with Clarity.
This upcoming October, Clarity Experiences is hosting one of its biggest events for an organization called Health. This project is expected to generate $3 million annually. They're working to see if they can boost it up to $20 million with other organizations involved.
Our biggest event is called HLTH, and it's about a $3.5 million project. So if you think about it, the scope of that project is astronomical compared to a $180,000 project. And so we do about $5 to $6 million plus projects a year. And then we have other events that range in size from 50,000 to 900,000. So big curvature that we had to get over was COVID. We almost had to close our doors because we weren't allowed to do events. But so for me, the proudest moment that we've ever done as a company is to get through COVID without, I think we only let 2 people go. One was my business partner's son and one other person in our company. Other than that, we held on to everyone. And after COVID ended, we were able to thrive.
Working with the sales team to organize their deals and see sort of an estimated revenue for the following year of what our potential is as a company. All of the departments we have here at Clarity include sales, operations, marketing, design, accounting, and I think that might be it. But yeah, we have a handful of departments and a lot of people to help run everything.
And what I loved about what I learned at Cal State Fullerton in their business management program and all the different people I met there was that you could use all your network of friends and relationships to create a really successful business. So it's been awesome to build a company that has grown so rapidly, been so successful, and then being able to be given opportunities to people to come work here and really enjoy the time they work here and excel and grow in their careers. So one of the things we love to do at Clarity is give people opportunity to see where their careers can go. And it's such a joy and a reward to be doing that as a leader of the organization.
This is Andrea Restrepo reporting for OC News.
The time has come. Starting today, travelers flying within the United States are required to use a state-issued ID that is Real ID compliant. The deadline enforces the 2005 Real ID Act that requires state driver's licenses to meet certain federal requirements to be used for boarding a plane or accessing federal facilities. Real IDs are marked with a star in the upper right-hand corner and feature anti-counterfeiting technology. The Transportation Security Administration will accept other forms of identification, including a U.S. passport or passport card, a permanent resident card, a border crossing card, and a veteran health identification card. Those who do not have valid form of identification may be asked to complete an identity verification and may be subject to additional screening.
After more than a year since its debut trailer, Rockstar Games released a second trailer for the long-awaited GTA 6. The second trailer debuted early Tuesday morning across social media platforms, just a day after Rockstar confirmed the game would be delayed from its original fall 2025 window. The trailer was full of in-game cinematics featuring the new characters and setting. GTA 6 is a return to the infamous Vice City, set in a fictional version of Miami, Florida. The trailer confirmed the release date of the game, which comes out on March 26, 2026, for both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The trailer is currently at 80 million views on YouTube, making it the most viewed video in a 24-hour period. Isn't that crazy, Alex? All of our class is going to graduate before GTA 6 comes out.
Yeah, depends on if they get their summer internships. Me, I still haven't gotten mine.
Well, you're going to be graduating soon, so I hope you enjoy your last few weeks. After graduation, all you have to look forward to is death, taxes, and work.
That's a nice way to say goodbye to me, Justin. I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, that's all we have for today's early edition of OC News. Be sure to stick around for our final late show of the semester. Before we close out, I'd like to shout out our amazing professor, Gail Brisbane, and our executive producers, Kyle, Connor, and Jonathan, for a great semester. Signing off one last time, I'm Justin Rosette.
And I'm Alex Heitman. It's been a pleasure delivering the news for you all semester, and congratulations to the graduating Titans. Be sure to follow us on social media at Titan TV CSUF and at OC News CSUF. Thank you and good night.